Bet you forgot you were subscribed to this channel. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to my camera that actually turned on. I was very surprised. Hello. It's been a long time. I kind of forgot that I was in my YouTube era. And can I just say, well done. I massively applaud anybody who can post content consistently in prep, because that was hard. Hence the radio silence towards the end of my season and after my first show. Obviously there is a huge amount to catch up on. There is a huge amount that has happened, and I will cover that. I'm not going to make any promises to myself. I mean, the only person, if I don't post this clip, that's going to see this is myself. I am not going to say, I'm going to come on tomorrow, I'm going to come on next week, I'm going to fill you in on everything, because realistically, something's going to get in the way, something's going to come up. But I was just opening a package of supplements that I got delivered this morning, and they are some interesting, different supplements, and it just got me thinking about YouTube and about chatting about what has been happening, what is going on right now with my plan, with my training, my food, my supplementation, my life, how I'm feeling, how my season went, because I obviously haven't updated you since Muscle Contest, and I did 2 more shows after that, how I'm getting on with my new coach, what's next, everything. So it's a bit of a funny time to be starting a vlog like this, because I'm actually going away for the weekend tomorrow to Brussels with Sive, and it's going to be completely and utterly not bodybuilding, prep, off season, anything related. So yeah, it's probably a strange time to pick up the camera, but I have time right now to film this clip. So I said I would just do it, take advantage and say hello, dust off this YouTube channel. So yes, in this vlog, which will probably end up being over the course of a week at the very least, I will take you through an update on my season, how I finished off in my last 2 shows, my first pro qualifier, my first abroad show, traveling on my own, how that went. Did we do well? Did we do shit? Did we mess it all up? Will I ever compete again? I will go through where I'm at now, a little tiny update on what's been happening in between. There is obviously, I could speak for hours on everything that has happened. Spoiler, we moved. So yeah, I could do a whole hour's vlog on just life updates, but nobody needs to hear that. So I will do more gym training, bodybuilding related updates on what's been going on with Ethan, my new coach, and what's next, what we're thinking, what we're planning, what we're hoping, what we're plotting. But yeah, I suppose as a starter, let's go through my supplement order together that I just got, because I finally, and sorry for the lighting, I don't have my little tripod set up right now, so let's move. Let's walk and talk. Let's walk and talk, except we're not going to walk and talk. I'll probably cut this out. So yes, I finally got around to getting some blood work done post prep. Well overdue, no doubt, but we got it done anyway. And the results came back, we went through them, and there were just a few things that we wanted to put in place as a result. Nothing is too concerning, too worrying. Obviously post 2 back-to-back preps, as a natural competitor who is a female, obviously things are never going to be 110% and optimal and ideal, but all things considered, I am not too mad at the results. I'm not really mad at all at the results. We did want to grab a few bits and start to change my supplements ever so slightly to make things better, more comfortable for me. I will go through things probably in more depth in my like post-prep update in terms of my health, my levels, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of just a little haul, this is what I got. First things first is not, I'll run through the more standard ones, the more standard supplements that I get anyway that I was running out of. So electrolytes, not super essential, but I really like having them in my morning drink. So we got Perform strawberry and blackcurrant. Haven't had this flavor before except for in a little sample. It's nice, it tastes like Ribena. It's just good juice for the morning. I got some glutamine as well. Again, same thing, have this in our morning drinks every morning. Glutamine is great for digestion. It is an amino acid. Digestion and immunity, apparently, supposedly quite good for that. I got some omegas because this is going to be upped compared to what I normally take. So the Perform omega-3s have really good quantities of DHA and EPAs, which is what you want to be looking for in a good quality omega-3. So I grabbed those because I need to up these. And then alongside those, that is one thing that was a result of my bloods. And then the other two are these guys here. So I have quattrofolic and P5P or vitamin B6 from Strom. So not the most standard supplements, I suppose, for people, but we are going to start taking these and hope that I feel like more of a functioning human being over the next while. But yeah, that is my supplement haul. Very random, very spur of the moment and sporadic, but it is good to be back, I'm not gonna lie. So the plan for today is I do have to finish off some steps. I trained this morning, I did glutes, it was pretty good after what had been a bit of a crappy week of training and just overall not feeling 100% in myself. Feeling quite sore, feeling quite tired, feeling quite stressed, but we had a nice Friday glute session. It is sunny, it is bright. I'm done work for the weekend. I'm off on Monday because I'm going to be away. So yes, the plan today is to pack, to try and figure out what the hell I'm bringing. We don't actually have a full-length mirror in this new apartment, so I need to go down to my parents and go and try on everything. Get more steps in, get more meals in, get myself together. But yes, I will update you guys on my season, post-season, future season very shortly. It's March. And we're back. We are back. It is literally about 2 months since I filmed the last clips, but I like to call it perfect timing. The timing makes sense, the stars are aligning. The last time I spoke to you at the start of this video, I was speaking about my supplements that I was putting in because I'd just gotten my bloods done and everything like that. And I was just about to go away to Brussels for the first time. I ended up going back. So now it feels like the right time to pick this vlog up. Honestly, I just, again, completely lost the drive to do it. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy making vlogs, because I really, really do. And I absolutely loved editing them, and even though obviously it's not this high quality production, I don't do any fancy transitions or edits, but putting everything together, I did really enjoy that, and being able to put the vlogs out, even just for myself, but also for other people who were thinking about prepping or who were prepping. And I don't want to lose the reason why I started doing the vlogs, but So that's not to say that the drive wasn't there or the want to do it wasn't there. But girls, where are we finding the time? Where are we finding the mental capacity? Where are we finding the headspace? Because if anybody knows, please let me know. But I'm back, hopefully. I'm not going to say I'm doing a vlog every week because that's just not going to be realistic, and it's also probably not going to be interesting. But hopefully for a couple of girls who might be watching who are on prep or about to go into prep for this season, hopefully this will provide you some sort of entertainment or just brain rot release while you're doing your cardio or prepping your meals or something like that. So yes, we are back. It is March. And the reason I say that the timing kind of felt right mostly was just because I decided that I was actually going to get back on my bullshit and do it. But I am actually, after booking my second round of bloods so that we can review how things have been going for the past 2 months since we implemented those supplements, and from there then, based on the results, kind of fully make a solid plan of action for the next while of this off season, because I feel like we haven't really entered the off season yet, which is crazy because it's like coming up to 20 weeks post show. And I was looking back at my archives from last year, and I was like pretty much nearing the end of my off season this time last year to go into prep. So the fact that I haven't really broached it is crazy. But we're back. It's very prep coded this morning, I'm not gonna lie. So it's Sunday morning, it is 8 in the morning. I've been up for a couple of hours, but this morning I'm going to the gym. I'm going to check in for Ethan. I'm going to do, hopefully, a posing check-in for Hannah. I'm going to do my steps. I'm going to do a lower session and my cardio. Have I eaten? No. Am I starting to get hungry because I've been awake for 2 hours now? Yes. But that's okay. We're going to do it anyway, and I know it's going to be fun. I am going to make intra workout. So at the moment, to be honest, actually since post show, like literally since the day after my last show, I'm pretty sure the response that Ethan sent me, he had put this in. So I have intra, carbs and EAAs as well. It's so embarrassing that I couldn't open that for during my workouts, because it's not super ideal, especially as a female, to train fasted. So just make sure that I have some nutrients in my body, in my bloodstream. And on top of this, I am going to suppress the appetite with more caffeine. Yes, I do drink Monster while I train. It is not only for the energy, it is also for the appetite suppression. And it helps when I'm working, like if I'm training before work, because I have the energy for when I start work then. So it's strategic, we'll call it that. So yes, I'm looking forward to the session today. My sessions this week have been pretty good. I've started, and I will chat because I'm going to do some questions in this vlog, but on top of the supplements that I showed you in the start of this vlog 2 months ago, I have also started this week taking L-carnitine properly, and yeah, I'm sure it's a placebo effect, but I have been enjoying my training this week. I do also think that could be down to the fact that I had a couple more rest days in a row. I did hell and back last weekend, which, if you're not from Ireland and you don't know what hell and back is, it's like that run amok, Tough Mudder style. Sorry if you hear anything in the background, I'm not sure if I touched on it in the last clip, but we have since gotten cats. So that would be Remy in the background. But yeah, we did this like outdoor obstacle race run, so I had a few extra rest days after that, and also just it gave me an opportunity to appreciate my training and the fact that I don't run or do high rocks or do anything like that. So I'm enjoying training. But yes, I will catch you guys up fully throughout the course of today. I will try and remember to show what I'm eating as well. I think that would be nice to see. Not a huge amount of food, guys. Still not a huge amount of food. I am, sorry, Remy's making so much noise. I think I'm like 1,000 calories under where I was this time last year, and my weight isn't showing that. So yeah, we will catch up, we will debrief after I get back from the gym. I don't have a huge amount to do today in terms of what's planned. Just need to do my food shop, do my steps, hopefully grab a coffee with my dad and do my steps maybe. And yeah, prep and get ready for another week. How it's actually going to be the middle of March next week. Crazy. But yeah, I'm going to go train, check in, train, cardio, steps. And then I'll be back. And a cool 3 hours later, we're back. Back in the room. We're back in the room. I feel like that used to be my catchphrase when I was last vlogging, was we're back. And that hasn't changed clearly. So yes, I took my sweet time today doing my session, doing my posing, doing my cardio. I have gotten my like workday training sessions down to a fine art, where before I could have easily been doing my actual sessions themselves for nearly 2 hours. Now I am like in and out and home within 2 hours, including my cardio, including if I need to pose or check in or anything like that. So the midweek sessions I've definitely cut down and gotten more efficient at doing them. But some weekends in particular, especially like today, Nick is away, I have more time to play with and I want to give myself that time. And I definitely needed it today. I am not having my best day in terms of, who can guess, digestion. Wouldn't be me if I didn't come back with a complaint about my digestion, my belly, how I'm feeling. So I'm just staying on brand. In general, things have been fine and things have been better post-show and post-season and since changing coaches. But obviously there's just going to be anomalies. There's going to be off days. There's going to be times where your body is stressed or anything could be going on. And that's going to make you feel not your best. And today was unfortunately one of those days. So I did like a couple of attempts at doing my physique check-in. It's fine. I look the way I look. I can't keep doing it and hope for anything better. But my posing check-ins, I was definitely a little bit hard on myself today. And I know that there isn't even a take in there that I'm going to want to send. But I have to remember, and I've definitely said this before on a vlog, to do a posing is, the whole point of doing a check-in and having a coach is to help you and to tell you what to work on and how things can be better. There is no point in not sending a check-in just because you're not 100% happy with it, because at the end of the day, there could be good stuff in it and you're not going to learn, you're not going to progress if you just don't send check-ins. So I'm going to go through the 1,000,001 clips. I think I literally have like at least 5 clips, like 5-minute long videos, and hopefully there's at least one that I'm comfortable sharing with Hannah. I am trying out a new transition from my back pose to the front after I went to a workshop with Hannah 2 weeks ago. So I'm enjoying that. So feedback will definitely be focused on that, but it is nice to have something different to work on that doesn't feel too unattainable, because I knew I wanted to like shake up my posing a little bit, but I know how hard I found it to learn how to pose the way that I did. So this is like a really nice middle ground to add something new, but it's not like I'm pulling my hair out just yet doing it. And honestly, it just makes things look better in my opinion, so I am happy to continue to work on that. The session, after I said my sessions have been great this week, the session was also shit, but I did it. I didn't leave anything behind. I did what I could, and we're back now. So I did get a coffee, as you will have seen in the background. The perks of not being on prep anymore is I can have my oat flat whites. So these are a staple, especially when I'm in the office. I don't have one every day, but I would say like 4 to 5 days out of the week, I would have an oat flat white, and it's essential. So don't even at me. But time for meal one. I did have my intra, as I said, when I was training, and I've had like 2 and a bit liters of water now, I would say. So I'm gonna make meal one now in a moment. But I thought that I would answer a question that I got. And I'm just gonna answer one that I feel like is gonna be relatively quick to provide an answer to, and watch me yap for literally probably 10 minutes on this. Somebody basically just asked what was my favorite show of the season. So I thought that was a nice one, because we obviously haven't caught up since my first 2 shows. My first show, Muscle Contest, and I did 2 more. So after Muscle Contest, Naturals, and then Open, I had 3 weeks, I think, if not 4, and then I did 2 Bros Naturals in the UK, the regional, and I did a pro qualifier in Marseille. I was having to think about this on my way home from the gym, and it's actually really hard to answer, because if you've done shows, you know that there's always going to be a level of disorganization, stress, panic. There's always going to be downsides to shows, but there's also going to be upsides, hopefully, to every show. There definitely has been for me, and I think it's really hard to pick a favorite. If I was to pick like what I thought my favorite look was, it would be France, my pro qualifier, my last show, because it's definitely the leanest that I was, and just the feedback from my coach and from Hannah and how happy they were with how I look and what I brought. I definitely think like look wise, that was my favorite. And the bikini, the makeup, oh my god, Danielle actually stayed with us at our Airbnb for that show, so that was really, really cool. And I wore my purple suit, and I did purple under my eyes, and it was just, oh, I loved it. And so in terms of a look, I think that's probably what I was happiest with. That show was not without its dramas, I would say, and it was a show where I first experienced like the tiniest bit of drama and just nonsense in the bodybuilding industry, which I might talk about, I might not. So there was definitely like some downsides to it. Whereas if I think about the 2 Bros regional, that has a potential to be my favorite show as well, because I did come first in my class and I was in the overall again, and I was so surprised because I felt awful. It was my first show where I didn't have a coach there with me. I just had Nick, and I just felt so sick, similar to how I felt before my second show at Muscle Contest. My belly just felt like it was completely out of my control. I felt so bloated, so uncomfortable, so ill, and it turns out on reflection that it was just self-doubt and panic and stress and worry and not feeling ready. So to go from feeling like that to then winning my class and being in the overall and being in the center in the overall was huge. And it was, while I know I won the overall in Muscle Contest in the Naturals, but that was a super, super quiet show. So it didn't really feel like, and I didn't have anyone in my class as well, so it just went straight to the overall. It didn't feel like it was as hard earned. Whereas 2 Bros, there's always going to be competition. So it was that like little bit of, okay, I've won an overall already this season. I've now gotten into another one. Maybe I do actually belong in this sport. So that kind of sense of like, okay, I need to just believe that this is for me and that I am right for this sport. because there was times where I was like, oh, I should just move to fit model, like, should I do it? I don't really love the posing, but I know that my physique is probably just going to be more suited to that. So to get that validation, I suppose, in such a big show was amazing. But also, on the flip side, I did love France because the stage was incredible. It was in this like huge sports arena, and the stage was massive. It was obviously my first time competing internationally. I had Ethan with me, my coach. I had Hannah with me. Danielle stayed, as I said. So the overall experience of that, and yeah, just the stage itself and the production, and just, it was really good. It was my worst placing ever. I did come 3rd out of 4, but that's not to say that I was disappointed or unhappy in any way, shape or form. It's really hard. I think overall for experience, I'll say Marseille, even though, as I said, there was a bit of drama there, but because I loved the experience of competing internationally, it was my first time like traveling by myself properly as well. First time doing a connecting flight, a layover. I got to spend a day in Marseille after with Hannah and Ethan, and then another day by myself. So I think the overall experience, I would have to say my first pro qualifier, but I have a soft spot in my heart for all my shows. So it's like Sophie's Choice. It's like picking your favorite child. What are you gonna do? Depends on the day. Depends on the memories that I bring up in my head. But yeah, I would definitely, well, obviously I will do a pro qualifier again, even though that isn't, as I say before, as I've mentioned before, like becoming a pro isn't my ultimate goal in this sport. It's just to continue doing it for as long as I love it, and I do love it. But yeah, I will definitely consider doing more shows abroad because it's just really cool. It's a really cool experience. But anyway, I did successfully yap for probably well over 5 minutes on my favourite show. And that I thought was the simplest question to answer. I'm gonna go and make meal 1, and I will show you what that is before I sit down and eat. There are a lot of times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not a conventional bodybuilder. I don't feel comfortable calling myself a bodybuilder at all. But one of those times is not when I'm making and having my post-workout, because who is surprised we have cream of rice? I just can't quit her. I can't quit her. And surprisingly, now I think, actually now that I think about it, it's quite unsurprising. Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, I haven't gotten the cream of rice ick yet that I normally get in off season or post prep. Normally, I only feel strongly about cream of rice when I'm in prep. I feel strongly, but like genuinely enjoy eating it when I'm in prep. But so far, I haven't had any aversion to it yet, and I'm actually eating it way more often than I'm eating oats, and oats aren't hitting the same. Crazy. But yes, post-workout meal is 70 grams of cream of rice. I'm going to do this. I hope you can't see any mess. 70 grams of cream of rice. You're probably going to see a cat flying by now. And he's like, yeah, there he is. I have 100 grams of banana. I have 50 grams of raspberries, 30 grams of whey, 20 grams of dark chocolate, and some salt. And it is incredible. I think about this meal going to bed, throughout my session, throughout my cardio. I was going to say it's my favourite meal, but I do really like my dinner as well. And I have a nice final meal on my rest days too. I'm so spoiled. Anyway, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to watch some YouTube, I think. I'm also trying to get into the new show Love Story, the John F. Kennedy Jr. one. I started watching that last night. I got like 20 minutes in. Yeah, I'm not too sure. So I'll probably just find something to pop on YouTube and switch off the brain, enjoy the food, have a shower, and see what happens from there. We are really bringing back the prep vibes. Because again, one of my last vlogs, I was in this dressing gown, washing my face, getting ready for the day in here. We go again. I just had a quick shower after my first meal, feeling suitably full. And I thought I would answer another question, which kind of, there are a few of a similar style, but the first one is, and I looked at my phone a while ago, so I'm hoping that I'm getting the question right, but it was there anything you would have done differently in prep? And normally I would say no, like, because obviously everything happened for a particular reason, everything went the way that it went, and I had a successful season and I was happy. But I think if I was to be honest, and if I was to give myself some advice from the periods of time where I was feeling really, really bad during prep, is just listen to your gut more and quicker. Listen to your gut quicker, and don't try and talk yourself out of a situation that feels right for you, or a move that feels right for you. And I'm sure if you know me and you know what was going on, you will know exactly what I'm referring to. But yeah, just kind of trust in your gut more, and trust in feeling that things aren't right and doing something about it potentially a little bit sooner. And also, don't be afraid to question things if you're unsure that they're the right thing to do, or if you don't understand why they're being done. That's what I would do differently. I would stand up for myself a little bit more, and I wouldn't listen to somebody who told me that carrots and peas are an off-season vegetable. Other than that, just believe in myself more. But isn't that the ideal situation, and will that ever happen? Stay tuned until next year to find out. Yeah, just back myself more, know that when something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right, and act on it a little bit quicker is what I would have done. But as I said, things didn't turn out too badly, so. And while we are on the topic of all of that sort of things, another question was how the experience was switching coaches in between. Sorry, I just had a shower and the fan is making a lot of noise, so I'm gonna turn her off. Switching coaches mid-season in between shows, and how different were things when I did that. So switching was obviously a huge leap of faith, and very scary, but as I kind of alluded to in that last question and last clip, it was the right thing to do for me. The switch was obviously not as immediate as I finished up with my previous coach and then I started with my new one the same day. There were conversations happening in the background in the lead up to my first shows, so it was a process of probably about a month of a transition. And then yeah, after my first shows ended, it was just straight in with my new coach. It was scary, nerve-wracking, but exciting and interesting, and it worked out for the best. Sorry, I'm just clocking the difference in my neck, and my face in this light is horrifying, but I'm going to put bronzer back on now in a minute. In terms of how different things were, they were very different. So from food, which I touched on in my previous vlog, so if you want to go back and see a rough idea of what the changes were in my approach to food, go back and watch my last 2 or even 3 vlogs from prep, because I did start to like pepper in some clips of my food and how they were different. But to like summarize the food side of things, I was eating completely different food groups than I was eating before. A lot more whole foods, a lot more variety of foods, specifically fruit and veg. A lot of my carbs were coming from said fruit and veg rather than coming from oats, cream of rice cakes. So it did feel for a while like I was eating barely any carbs compared to what I was eating with my previous coach. Even though I was actually eating a little bit more food, it definitely felt different, and I was hungrier eating more food versus previously because of the types of food that I was eating. But the types of food that I was now eating was healing my digestion and how I felt. So it was worth it. Yeah, so much more variety, so much more explanation about why I was eating the things I was eating and why I was doing the things that I was doing. Some of the supplements that I had been on with my previous coach had been removed. So like the things like my Digest Max was gone. I wasn't taking Yohimbine anymore. Yeah, those are kind of like the protocol-y bits that were different. But the main difference was just knowledge, education, understanding, having someone explain everything in a huge amount of detail, and having someone not just throw changes at me for the sake of making changes. Like, there was a period in the run up to my first shows in peak week where my food was changing every single day, and I questioned it once during that week, and I was like, why are we adding in, like, we were adding in salmon when I hadn't had salmon since my off season. If I even had it in my off season, I don't think I did. I hadn't had salmon in ages, and it was just randomly thrown in on like a Wednesday when I was in work, so I didn't have it made. It was every single day of peak week in the week before my food changed every day, and I could not see a reason why, because how are you supposed to keep track of that? How are you supposed to say, oh yeah, that made her look good, or that didn't make her look good, because it changed every day? It was crazy. So the flip side was the next 2 peak weeks, everything was very much the same as a normal week. Nothing really changed except for the day before and show day. Obviously you're eating less and less volume. So it was knowing what to expect became easier over the next 2 shows that I did. Training sessions are a little bit lighter in volume. So whereas before I had some sessions where I'd be doing 8 exercises, and honestly I wouldn't be doing the 8 exercises because I wouldn't have time to do 8 exercises with 3 sets of each, if not 4. So now some of my training sessions are smaller. Like my upper, I think I still have 7 exercises, but glutes, for example, I have 5 exercises, and 2 of those aren't even glutes. But trust me when I say I have never felt sessions like I feel that session. So training approach is slightly different as well, and just the level of support, the questions that I get asked, why do I think I feel this way, how do I feel, everything is different. I don't think I'm making any sense anymore, but yeah, a lot of differences, obviously some similarities, but mostly change since prep. Do you know what, I'm actually just rambling for the sake of rambling now, but yeah, those are off the top of my head the differences and the changes that have happened. Obviously last year, post shows, I struggled massively with digestion. This year, I kind of mentioned earlier, obviously I'm having a bad day now, but it has been night and day. I haven't been like physically sick from it this time around. Things are slower in terms of my body is putting on and holding on to weight longer compared to last year, whereas last year I had a lot more food at this point and my weight wasn't going up as quickly. But again, there could be a number of reasons for that. I had a huge amount going on in my life this year through prep and after. A lot of traveling, a lot of relaxing, a lot of flexibility, and my cycle did also just come back last week after 6 or 7 months, whereas last prep I got it back exactly a month post show. So there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of different things happening inside that I'm not 100% sure about. So there's a number of reasons why I can be responding differently than I was last year. But that is the answer to that question. No 2 preps, no 2 off seasons, no 2 reverses, no 2 years are going to be the same. If you do the same thing every day as you did last year, things are still going to be different. Because there are going to be things that you can't see that are going on and things that you can't control that come up, and we just have to keep doing what we're doing, keep sticking to the plan and hoping that it works. Another really nice question that I got asked was around reflections around my season and prep and stuff, and I actually think that the previous questions have covered that off pretty nicely. So they kind of trusting yourself and listening to your gut, and also believing in yourself more with the placings, and showing me that I need to believe in myself and not stress and cause myself physical pain and illness from stress and panic. So I think they covered that question off very nicely. But the only other thing that I think I can say as a reflection, as a learning, is just like, you are capable of so fucking much. And there's Remy. Like, I even look back now at myself and at everything that I managed to do, even as simple as getting everything done in the day and in the week. Remy's eating my glasses. I'm eating my glasses. In the day and in the week, like when I was having my hour of cardio every day to do before work, before commuting to the gym, before commuting to the office, doing a full day of work, getting up at 4 a.m. to make sure I was doing all of that, training around that, getting my steps in, like consistently doing all of that, and I didn't even appreciate it. And I know it probably doesn't sound like that much, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, how did I do that? Like, now it's a struggle to get up in the morning, and I have 15 minutes of cardio to do, and I don't go to the gym on my office days anymore at all to do cardio or to train or to do anything. Like, you whether you're in prep or not, are capable of so much more than you think, and you just have to do it. And the main thing is having a reason behind you that is strong enough to drive you forwards, and that's strong enough to just make everything that you have to do inevitable. Because yes, I have a reason now to continue to show up for myself and to continue to push and grow, but that reason feels that little bit further away than it does when you're in prep. So having that reason that is so strong and so clear and in reach, you're going to be unstoppable then. So I would say that would be my main reflection, is like, that was pretty impressive, everything that I was able to do, regardless of how my season did turn out, which was good. Just showing up and just actually doing all of that was pretty cool. I am going to head to my parents' house, which is literally down the road. Since we moved, I now live back in my home village, so it's really handy. I get to go and see the dogs all the time. I'm gonna go down. I need to drop some washing off, because it wouldn't be us if we didn't have something wrong with our apartment, and that is the dryer now. So I'm gonna put out a wash. I'm gonna go see the dogs, potentially take them for a walk, because I need to get my steps anyway. So I'll see if my sisters will take them for a walk with me, because we have 3 dogs, one of which is a greyhound, one of which is a very strong, and one of which is a little wagon. So it's not a one girl job. But regardless of whether I take the dogs or not, I will go and get some steps before my next meal, because if you didn't notice in that last clip, I am out of breath from how full I am. So we need to get this food moving. Okay, we have returned. I was literally about to say, and we're back. Laundry transfer done. Dog cuddles acquired. I didn't end up going out for steps because I remembered that I have to do a few bits when I'm going to do the groceries anyway, so hopefully I'll add up the steps, I'll get the neat up that way, and then if I need to catch up on any steps I can go this evening because it's still bright until like 6:30 now, which is insane. Beautiful, beautiful scenes, and it's only going to get better. So I am just prepping meal 2 now. I have chicken in the air fryer for meal 2. I will show you that when it's put together, and I'm also writing the shopping list because I'm going to be shopping solo because Nick did a hike this morning, so he is super tired and he has work to do, and as I said, I do have bits to do, and I'm not going to make him walk around Pennies with me and Boots because I'm a nice girlfriend. So I'm going to do the shop myself. Can I just say, bring back physical lists because it's just not the same writing your shopping list on your phone, but I'm going to write it anyway. We need obviously all of the normal stuff, but also like just a few bits that aren't in the regulars, you know, things that you only get every couple of weeks or couple of months. It's time to get those this week, so it is going to be a big one, unfortunately. I may or may not do a little grocery haul, who knows. It's not going to be revolutionary, it's all the same stuff that every bodybuilder, everyone who meal preps gets. But if there is anything exciting, I will show you that, and I will check in with you when I am having meal 2. It's now 2:30. I only have 4 meals on my training days, so I'm not too worried about eating around 2:30. If I was like working, I'd normally eat around 2 anyway, so I'm not too far behind, and the meal will be ready in 15 minutes. And the culinary delights are back. Did you miss my amazing meals? Meal 2 is, I'm gonna flip you around.
Do you want to talk about culinary delights?
What is it? For once, mine is potentially nicer than yours. I'm sure this will still smash. Anyway, mine is 100 grams of chicken, 75 veg, 25 what's supposed to be sauerkraut, but I don't have any sauerkraut, so I have beetroot, and 2 caramel snacky jacks with nut butter. He's gonna click his back. No, didn't work, did it?
Oh yeah.
Oh. And I also have 100 grams of grapes with this meal because we eat our fruits and veg around here, and we don't just eat berries. In fact, I don't eat half as many berries as I used to eat. But more importantly, there's carrots in here because we're in off season. Guys, sorry, I look like a floating head in this. If I want to make myself feel lean again, I just have to wear this because that is comical. This little mini excursion into town just felt so prep coded. I don't know what it is about today. It's just bringing back all the prep vlog feelings. I obviously mentioned I had to run to Boots to get something. I had to get some lancets for my blood glucose test kit because that is something that I am now tracking a couple of times a week. So I had to get those, and I got a few other bits in Boots that aren't exciting. But while I was in Boots, I went next door to Home Savers, which used to be across the road from our old apartment, and they always have such fun stuff. It's like B&M in the UK, so they always have stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And I saw this on Ashton Alderton. I always forget whether her surname is Alderson or Alderton, but I competed with her in my first season, and she posted this the other day, and I was like, oh, I wonder how long it's going to take for us to get that in Ireland, because we've only now just gotten the Pepsi Max strawberries and cream, which they got last year or the year before, the Coke Zero cherry float, and they had big bottles, they had cans, like multi-packs, but I want to see if I like it, so I'm excited. I don't normally love Coke Zero as much as I love Pepsi Max, but it looked really good. And on the topic of things that we don't have here, I'm very excited to try this as well. the Volvic cherry, because again, cannot get this here ever, and I also needed water, so it was a win-win. I am way too easily amused. They also had Pepsi Max Tropical in multi-packs, but for that I also wasn't going to carry a slab of cans through town because I'm just a girl on my own right now. But yeah, I'm gonna try the Coke Zero. I think I don't have my little handle for my camera, so I won't be able to drink it, and unless I can open it with one hand. It was in my bag, so it might go everywhere. Oh, I'm doing it. We're gonna get a taste test. Oh, is it gonna? Oh, it's not gonna explode. I mean, presumably it's just kind of going to taste like vanilla Coke Zero, or maybe it kind of smells like Dr. Pepper. If anybody comes and parks beside me right now. Dr. Pepper. Nice. Yeah. I would recommend, especially if you like Dr. Pepper. I think it's actually nicer than the cherry Pepsi Max because I find that very artificial. This is quite nice. Success. The actual audacity of the way that I record myself is insane. But we made it home, and we've made a grave mistake because it's now 6 p.m. and I still have 2 meals left to have, and I'm up early in the morning, so we're gonna be hefty Hannahs in the morning. Anyway, I'll run through some highlights of the shop and then I will make my meal 4, which is probably going to be a slight variation on what it should be. That is the perks of not being in prep and being able to macro match things for ease, for things that is going to be a little bit quicker to prepare and to eat, and potentially a little bit lighter as well, less volume, so that I'll be ready for my dinner in like an hour and a half. It's fine. So I'm not going to run through everything because it's, as I said earlier, it's very similar to what I would have been shopping for in prep. Like, I obviously have the staples in terms of the protein and carbs and fruit and veg. I literally got everything, so chicken, mince and salmon. I have salmon as well in the fridge for tomorrow. I have salmon on my rest days and Nick wanted salmon as well. I got rice. I just got some jasmine rice left, so I just got one of these. Again, I might have this for my meal now, or I might have another carb source that I have that's super quick as well. I just got one of those to have, and baby potatoes as well, which I will have in my dinner, and more of these, because every time I see these I need to pick them up, because there was a period of a couple of months where we couldn't get them anywhere. So, and now the only place that I can find them is Aldi, in case anyone's wondering. So I got another packet of these, and another exciting carb source, so loud, our bread of the week, purely because this was like the only one they had left in Tesco, but it sounds pretty good. Cranberry, sunflower and pumpkin seeds, sourdough. Smash. So I get to have that tomorrow with my salmon, which will be interesting with cranberries, but I'm sure it'll be lovely. So they're kind of like the highlights. So basically you got to see my carbs and did I show you this? I don't think I did. I think I held it up and didn't actually talk about it. I needed peanut butter, and so I got this one to treat myself to. And we got almond butter as well, just normal almond butter from Aldi. So I'm gonna pop everything away and decide what I'm gonna have for this makeshift meal. Okay, decisions have been made. Vegetables are sizzling. I had chicken ready which was supposed to be for my dinner, so I had that ready. I had veg that could be fried in 3 minutes, and I have these udon noodles that take a minute as well. I would say 2 to 3 on the pan. So we're having chicken, we're having veg, we're having noodles, we're having more sauerkraut because I got sauerkraut, and almond butter. So what this is supposed to be is mince, and I've been having rice recently. In my plan, what's written down is 3 snacky jacks, but I've been having rice because it just works better, it's nicer, and it saves the snacky jacks as more of a treat. So normally I would be having mince and rice with veg and everything like that, but what I will do is I will have my mince for my dinner shortly with my potatoes. This is going to just take me literally 2 minutes and hopefully not be super filling. Guys, I fear I have hit the biggest wall known to man, and I can't even justify why, because you've heard of literally everything that I've done today, and it hasn't been a huge amount, but I don't know what it is. This weekend has just really taken it out of me, and I'm not sure whether it's because I gave myself a lie-in yesterday. So yesterday, Saturday, I didn't set an alarm, and I slept until like 8, and I think it's like the case of when you let your body realize how tired you are, and when you let your body catch up, it's like, oh shit, we are wrecked, and it's gonna make you feel that for another few days to come. So I think that's the only thing that I can assume is the reason and the case here. But pretty successful day. It is now it's 10 to 8 and I haven't eaten my dinner yet. I do have it cooking, so I'm not going to show it. I'll just tell you what I'm having. I'm sure you'll all cry yourself to sleep not seeing it. Unless you're a vegetarian, you'll be very happy to not see it. But yeah, I am just going to wrap this the hell up now, because I knew if I didn't sign off now, it would come to, like, realistically I'll be editing this maybe on Tuesday when I'm working from home after work, just in case anyone from work finds me after work. So I knew it would be then, and I didn't want it to be a case of letting myself slip after literally one vlog. So I am just going to call it here. I realize I didn't end up answering very many questions because there was quite a bit to yap about in general today. So I'm just going to call it here, because otherwise this would be like probably an hour and a half. I'm very curious to see how much footage I have. I'd say this is going to be nearly an hour. So apologies, and huge well done if you have made it this far. Thank you for coming back to have a nosy at what I'm up to. I will definitely give more depth and more insight into what I've been doing, or what I am going to do, I should say. I think I should stop promising giving you like what I've been doing, what you've missed, Let's just show you what I'm getting up to going forward. So like I mentioned at the start, I will be getting my bloods done, not tomorrow. So tomorrow's Monday week. On that week, I will also be meeting up with one of my online clients who's doing a photo shoot prep in person. So that's really exciting. I am going away then that weekend with my mum for her birthday and Mother's Day. So there is quite a bit on, and in between that I am trying to be as close to my plan as possible, because like I briefly mentioned earlier, I have been very flexible and very relaxed, and I have had a lot of trips since my season ended, and I just need to focus a little bit more on just sticking to the plan and not having any extras and not straying away if I'm going to want to get anywhere productive. So yeah, there is plenty to look forward to, and yeah, I am just genuinely quite excited to get the results of these bloods back, because I do think it's going to give us, I don't want to say like certain answers, or sure answers, but I think it will just tell us where to go from here, and we've kind of been waiting for that for a little while now, so I'm excited. because I feel like some of the bits that I started to do this week, like I mentioned, like the L-carnitine, and over the past couple of weeks tracking my blood glucose and stuff, I'm starting to feel like a little bit more of a bodybuilder again, which is nice to feel. And I do feel like I have had my best week in a while, so let's keep it going. I realized I started this clip saying I would tell you what I was going to have for dinner, so I'm having mince for dinner. I'm having 120 grams of mince. I've just popped it in the air fryer and made it into a burger because I need to prep some mince for tomorrow as well. So that was the easiest thing to do while I was doing some cleaning. I changed the bed sheets because I am incapable of just sitting. Nick called me out on that last week, and it's so true. Like, I always feel like I have to be doing something, but I always do have something to do. Anyway, that's a whole problem for another day. So yeah, I popped that in the air fryer while I was doing that, and my potatoes are also in the air fryer. So I'm going to do kind of like a burger fries situation with my mince, with my potatoes, veg, and I might make just a small little homemade burger sauce, which is Greek yogurt, ketchup, mustard, and a little bit of seasoning. And I have berries with my last meal as well. Oh, and Brazil nuts. Sorry, this is so like unentertaining to hear me list off what's on my food plan, but that's what I'm gonna have. Plenty of carbs, plenty of fat, plenty of flavour. I will then be prepping all of my meals for tomorrow because I'm in the office bright and early in the morning, up at 5, get the bus at 6:20 to be in the office. Love it. But yes, there are a few outstanding questions that I will hopefully touch upon in the next couple of vlogs, and again, I'm sure other things will crop up as I go through the weeks and months. But yeah, here is to being back on my bullshit. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there was something of interest in here. And again, to anybody who did make it this far, you are literally legendary. You're a queen. Congratulations. I love you. Thank you. And I will see you in the next one.